In today's video, I'm sharing a book called Urban Fiction, Romance, and Historical Fiction by Black authors. I chose these books by vibes and price, whatever. My name is Raquel. I talk about all things Black books. Welcome and welcome back. Let's get into these 9 books that I hauled. So first we have Animal 4.5, and I have to say this is one of my all-time favorite series. So I have book number 1 and now I have 4.5. So if you don't know the Animal series, it is by Kwan, and it is about this young boy who was homeless as a child, maybe like 8, 9 years old. Can't remember his exact age, but he was a little boy who was homeless. Got taken in by another guy after he kind of helped this guy out, and he took him under his wing and taught him everything he knew about the game. Then Animal turns around, gets a group of kids around his same age, his good friends, teaches them the game, and now they are running amok. Not just in New York, but in Costa Rica, I believe. If it's not Costa Rica, it is somewhere in South America. Like they are all over the place. Animal is wreaking havoc, and his name is a testament to who he is. So in 4.5, he has this girlfriend named Gucci, and him and Gucci is living this wonderful, fabulous life. And a woman that he kind of messed around a little bit with in Puerto Rico is now saying that she has his child. He knows that she is trouble, and he really doesn't want to be bothered with her, but he knows that it's a huge possibility that that is his child, so he has to help her. This is a great series. I loved it. I mourned it when Quan said book 5 would be the last book. I literally mourned this series. I have read it so many times. And then we have Gold Digger, which is by Allison Hobbs. Now, if you don't know who Allison Hobbs is, I take it you don't like spice, because Allison Hobbs is the GOAT next to Zane. She came after Zane, and as a matter of fact, I believe Zane presented her. Not 100% sure, so don't hold me to that. But her spice is on a 1 to 5 level, like a 7, and it's well placed. It's just not, spice for the sake of spice. It is very well placed. It is very descriptive, and I have to say that I read this big book many years ago when I was more into spice than I am now. I don't know how I would feel about it, but this is a 3 book series, and hopefully I'll get the other 2 books, and then maybe I'll read it then. However, this is about a young lady who has it all. She has the car, the house, the job, all of the stuff. She winds up losing everything and then taking a job as a companion to this older guy, older rich guy. And she decides that she's gonna do everything that she can to amass his fortune once he passes away. Once he passes away, his family actually decides, no, 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 we don't want you to have this. And so she's got to go through that whole thing. And this is a 3 book series. I loved it. Spicy. Then we have Torn by Keisha Irving. I do not know what this book is about. I simply bought it because it's Keisha Irving. If you don't know, she has a YouTube channel. It is not about books. It's about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Potomac, all that stuff. Anyways, so I wanted to read. I have a couple of her books. Funny enough, I've never read any of them. I have Dream. I have Cranes in the Sky. Um, Nina's Joint. I have a couple of her books, and for some reason, I have never read any of them. And I saw this, and I was like, "Oh, Keisha Irvin, let me get it." So let's see what it's about. It says her female intuition told her he was a dog, but yet and still she lent him her soul, gave him her heart, and allowed herself to fall in love. Torn between infatuation, lust, denial, and playing wifey, the only thing Mo knows for sure is that she's been through hell, survived 9 years, three miscarriages, numerous flings, heated arguments, and a few knockdown, drag out fights, only to realize that she is further deep in love and more confused than ever. This is my kind of urban fiction. I love me some old school urban fiction, and this I'm sure will hit the spot. I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I'm definitely going to dive into this one. And then I have The Unexpected Diva by Tiffany L. Warren. Tiffany L. Warren, I love her book. She is mostly a Christian fiction author, but here lately she's been doing some historical fiction with about women in the past. So this one is about a enslaved girl in Mississippi who gets sent to live with some Quakers. This Quaker lady adopts her and gives her a pretty good life, sends her to school, gets her singing lessons, all these things. Her mother passes away, and unfortunately, all the things that her mother uh, and that she inherited from her mother, um, the family members do not want her to have it, and so she winds up poor and kind of destitute. And they, her mother wanted her to become a singer, and so that is where she puts her focus, and she becomes a opera singer. Now that's about as much as I know, and that's from reading the synopsis. But I have definitely wanted to read it. I just had not gotten around to it, so it's really cool to be able to have my own book. And then we have another old school urban fiction. This one, Be More Careful, is by Shannon Holmes. Now, this one is the prequel. The actual Be More Careful book that was out around the time, I put it up there with Fly Girl by Omar Tyree and Coldest Winter Ever by Sister Soldier. Now, I put this book up there with them because this is where I remember it from. Now, this is the prequel, and this one gives you kind of all the answers to whatever happened in the first book. Now, I've read Fly Girl and I've read The Coldest Winter Ever. However, I've never read Be More Careful. And because this one kind of gives the answers, I probably won't read this until I get Be More Careful. I have seen it several times, so I don't have any doubts that I'll be able to get Be More Careful. So because this is a prequel, it really doesn't give a whole lot of information on the original book. So just kind of not going to read the synopsis. Um, but like I said, this is to answer all of the questions in the book, uh, in the first book. Excuse me. And then we have A Wager at Midnight by Vanessa Riley. And this one is about two royals who, I believe, pretending to date each other for a year. And more than likely, they're going to wind up falling in love. I think this is an arranged marriage, fake dating trope. I don't know that I really want to read this. I kind of got it because I have two other books by Vanessa Riley. One of them, I think, The Queen of Exile, and another one. That book, The Queen of Exile, is about this thick, and I just look at it like I have absolutely no intentions of opening the pages. I might listen to that one, but I know I'm not going to sit down and read that one. I would probably start it and never get back to it. This one, like I said, I just got it. Um, yeah, I mean, buying books is another hobby aside from reading books, so I bought it. Killed me. And then we have Rachel Adler's. This one is called Home and Away. And so this is about a young lady who is a writer. And she is disappointed because she is not able to get the position that she's been wanting. So she decides that she's going to leave wherever she lives and go to Tennessee where her grandfather is. Her great grandfather used to play for the Negro League. And so she's going to write a novel. She's getting information from her grandfather. Her grandfather falls ill. She begins to take care of him, and then he gives her a lot of information, journals, pictures of her great grandfather, whom she wants to write this novel about. But what happens is that there are some things that her grandfather did that her excuse me, things that her great grandfather did that her grandfather doesn't think is a good idea to write about. So she decides to write a fictional book about her great grandfather. And this one sounds really good. I think definitely she's probably going to have a love interest that has something to do with baseball. I don't know that 100%. It doesn't say that. But how can be a romance if she doesn't have a love interest? So I know she's going to have one in here. And yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen in this one. And then we have The Jewel of the Blues by Monica Chanel Kilgore. This is such a beautiful cover. I love this cover. When I saw this cover, I wanted to read it just because of the cover, not because I knew what it's about, right? So, this is a historical fiction romance mystery. And so this one is about a young lady who has been singing since she was a little girl. She has this beautiful, big, beautiful voice. She takes off and she's doing vaudeville with her family and then decides she's going to go off and become a blues singer. She becomes a blues singer as she's, growing in fame. Uh, there is a murder or, yeah, that takes place in the past and it has something to do with her family, but she is unaware of it. And so she is going to find out about this thing that happened and how her family is entwined in it. And I think it's going to affect her career. I don't know if it's going to affect her career to the point that she won't have one or if it'll just, slow it down a bit. But this one I'm super, super interested in ever since I read Time's Undoing by Cheryl A. Head, which was also a mystery, romance, historical fiction. I have been wanting to read something like that again. I cannot stop thinking about that book. It was so good. I'm hoping that that one will be just as good. And then last but not least, we have American Daughters, which is by Piper Hughley. This is about two friends who are, their parents is the black girl's father is Booker T. Washington, and the other girl's father is Theodore Roosevelt, the president. And so, because their fathers are friends, they become friends. And Theodore Roosevelt's daughter is going to surprise even her father with wanting women's rights and different things like that. I don't think that he knows that until she comes to help him at the White House. And so these two become friends. They go through like ups and downs, their marriages, politics, and just all of the things. They go through it together. Now, these are two families. This is early 1900s. This is at the turn of the century of the 1900s. And so I know that these two are going to have some similar ideas. But I also believe that because they are black and white, that they're going to clash on some things. And I'm interested to see what those things are. So I'm really looking forward to this book as well. Initially, I was kind of like, I don't know. But the more I think about it, I think this one's going to be really interesting. So this is book number 9, the last one in my haul. And have you guys read any of these books? Um, which book caught your attention? And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Do all of the YouTube things like, comment, share, subscribe. And until next time, see you soon.